Hello, I'm Lonnie the Theater Lady, and I'm here today and delighted to be here with our newest video Berg Vivant personality, Dr. Tiffany Raymond. Tiffany's been with us since long before the lockdown, and for the first time, she's joining us on video. Normally, she does written reviews, but we've decided to share the video together since we saw a play the other night that we both, I can't speak for Tiffany, sorry, that I loved. Urinetown. I know, horrible title, but for a wonderful production. This is by the Stage 62 in Carnegie at the Carnegie Library and the Carnegie Music Hall, affectionately known as the Carnegie in Carnegie.
It's a lot of Carnegies.
It is. And if we lived anywhere else, it would be the Carnegie.
That's right. And we had dinner right across the street before that in Carnegie.
That's right, we did. It was delish. So,
sideline shout out for 131 East.
This production was directed by Art Deacon-Sillis, who I feel is one of Pittsburgh's theater treasures, and his direction of this enormous cast. This was an extravaganza, not just a play. This was huge. And he directed this cast with military precision. When there was a moment, a gasp, or a recoil, they just did it like they were one. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm,
I thought that added to the humor because this was hilarious.
Well, and I think, as we talked about it, the acoustics in there are so incredible that
Wonderful.
they were crisp. The
Yes.
sound clarity was just amazing in that venue.
And you don't even always need a microphone. If they hadn't had a live orchestra, which is really a treat to see a live orchestra these days, if they hadn't had it, they probably wouldn't have even needed their mics. That's how wonderful the acoustics are. So this play, Urinetown, I hate to even say it, but
I'm with you. It does not draw one in, really.
no. It's a time in the dystopian future when we've had a 20-year drought that has caused...
Maybe not that far in the future.
I know, scary. That has caused the locals to form a new company, which I think is hilarious. You're in Good Hands is the name of the company. But anyway, you can't use your private facilities. You have to go to what they call an amenity, a public amenity, and pay. And you're regulated as to how often you go and when you go. And so that's kind of the basis of what all happens. And there were so many things to talk about in this show. I really don't know where to start. Tiffany, do you want to tell me what you felt was something unique or that interested you or that you thought was well done?
I like that. Just kind of what really stood out to me was just sort of the corporate agenda versus, the people, right? The common people. That's kind of the crux of the play, right? Because this corporation, you're in good hands, takes advantage, perhaps, they continue to increase prices without increasing the benefits to the people. And ultimately, there's a bit of a resistance from the people. And so just that power dynamic feels really timely right now, I think, in the current,
Agreed.
broader macroeconomic climate. And so I really just enjoyed that tension and it just got me thinking about, just kind of corporate structures and the ways in which, individuals are, sort of subjected to them, whether, they want to be or not. And so that part really fascinated me. And then there's the, which we can talk about her more, but Hope, the daughter of the sort of, big boss villain.
The toilet baron.
Right, the toilet baron, right. And I just really, her character, straddling the lines between these two worlds, as she does.
And it's interesting that you pointed that out because, of course, that's a really big theme, and it makes it sound serious. But this was absolutely hilarious. And normally I'm kind of offended by potty humor, but the way they did it, I thought it was hilarious. I really did. And the songs, the parodies of the songs were just, I thought, so funny. And I don't know if you noticed this or not. We didn't talk about this, but did you notice how so many of the song parodies were like I heard a song that reminded me of Les Mis. There was a West Side Story. There was Fiddler on the Roof. Did you pick up on any of that?
I'm not as steeped in the musical genre as you are,
As
but
you-
yes, I
From
did.
the West Side
Mhm.
Story and the Russian dancing, which brings us to the
Yeah.
choreography.
Yes.
Alex Manolo's choreography I thought was brilliant.
Yes.
And she had to do so many different styles. Russian, there was the jazz,
Right.
the tap dancing,
Right.
the bunny hop.
That was cute.
I wondered if you knew that.
Yeah, I
that
did.
If you were old enough to know the bunny hop.
Well, not old enough, but I do now.
And they got it exactly right. I
Yeah.
did that as a kid.
I think it was also really neat to add to the choreography. They had the stage level, and then they had another, there were stairs up to a second level. And so that second level provided another tier for staging that also, choreographically made it visually more stimulating.
I agree. And a huge company.
Mm-hmm.
And when the company all sang together, oh my gosh, I thought the blending of the voices was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the leads, I thought, were so strong and had such wonderful voices.
Yeah.
I usually pick out, this voice or that
Mm-hmm.
voice, but I thought all 4 or 5 of the major leads were great.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah, it's rare that happens. Usually there's at least one that's really great or one that's sort of down here. But they were all very consistent and very
I
high
agree.
quality.
I loved the names too. Bobby Smart, the hero, of course. Smart is his name. He's played by David Holderbaugh.
Bobby Strong.
What did I say?
Smart.
Ah,
I was like, are you testing me? She was testing me, and I got it.
you know
I nailed
why?
it.
I was thinking in my car.
Oh, you're a sweet car.
Because I love. Anyway,
But Strong, also appropriate.
yeah. Did I say he was played by Dan Holderbaum?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I thought he was so perfectly sweet, and then he turns kind of into a revolutionary. And it was wonderful, and the little love story that developed between him and Hope, another wonderful name, Hope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As she evolved and changed, that was Tess
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Walsh.
Tess Walsh. Mm-hmm.
And her voice, really, really lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Really lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Johnson, Officer Lockstock,
Yes.
proclaimed himself the narrator.
Yes, I like that.
And he said things during the play. Now you remember, only happy plays have happy endings.
Right.
He gets all
Yeah.
these little
He
asides.
had a wry humor about him that
Yeah.
was, it worked. At first I was going, this breaking of the fourth wall, I'm not sure it
Yeah,
fits the
but
play. But,
Very deadpan delivery,
Right.
which made it funny.
yeah,
I enjoyed
yeah,
that.
he made it work. I was
And-
impressed.
Matthew Rush now I love this name, Cladwell E. Caldwell.
Yes.
Same
Yeah.
letters, just
Yeah.
2 of them reversed.
Mhm.
Just so evil and smarmy. And
Mhm.
played his role perfectly. as the-
Personifies the sort of
toilet
corporate,
baron.
toilet baron.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
And Jeff Johnson,
Mhm.
I enjoyed his performance also. Oh, we just talked about
Yes,
him.
that's very thing.
No,
about
we didn't.
Officer-
I'm talking about Matthew Rush. Jeff Johnson,
He was Officer Lockstock, though.
yes,
the
he
narrator.
was. Okay. And the other one I wanted to mention, only because Senator Flip, played by Nick Franzen,
Mm-hmm.
I wondered if you noticed the resemblance that he had to one of our senators.
Oh.
I wondered if it was intentional.
Oh, I did not notice that, but now that you
Oh,
mention
he was
it.
Ted Cruz. Just as sleazy and, ugh. Yeah. And I saw that right away. I was like, oh my gosh, what's Ted Cruz doing here?
Well, and we get to see behind the scenes of the sort of corporate world, the toilet baron who's paying off the senator to, have the vote go his way. So it's everything about
Exactly.
like corporations lobbying for laws that benefit them but don't benefit the common person. So there's a lot of sort of that like power to the people sort of vibe in this play that's really, really fun.
I thought so too. I enjoyed the whole thing. I laughed a lot.
I didn't cry, but
No crying, definitely
Right.
no crying. But just overall, I just thought it was so high-powered, fast-paced, energetic, and full of hope, which of course one of the characters' names, Hope. I enjoyed all the different musical styles. I think it's worth seeing for even the costumes by Sam Moyle. I thought they were amazing. There were the poor costumes for the poor people in the company. The rich costumes, the poor, were really like grubby, grimy.
They were all sort of like tans, browns, beiges. Dusty rose was sort of your most vibrant,
Right.
lower class, color.
And then the elegance of the rich people in the company's
This pinstripe
costumes.
suit with Caldwell Cladwell
Yeah.
in his pinstripe suit. And then I noticed his daughter, Hope, they always had her in purple, which is, of course, very much associated with like royalty. And, sort of the aristocrats. And so I thought that was a very choiceful, a mindful choice.
That was. I didn't even think of that when I saw that. I just noticed how elegant she was in contrast to the others.
Well, kind of where I was going, where I was talking about that second level, they often had this sort of, Caldwell, up on they had the sort of upper crust of society up on elevated above,
Yes.
and then the lower classes below. So visually, they really reinforced with the staging the sort of class dynamics within the play, which I thought was really interesting and effective.
I thought so too. And I had seen this before in San Francisco, and the set was so similar that I was quite impressed that a small community, well, not small, a community theater
Right.
could do something so professionally with a set too.
Yeah.
That looked very much like the original set. So anything else you wanted to add?
One character who really stood out to me was Penelope Pennywise.
Yes.
Joyce Hinnebush, and I loved how she's the sort of proprietress of the public toilet number 9. Which is the center of our Urinetown world, and she's got this plunger that's on her tool belt, and she's sort of a go-between who's kind of reporting up to the corporate family, and is very much pushing back against people who want to quote break the rules by not being able to pay up to use the public toilets or that she operates, and I thought her character was just really memorable.
I think so too. And her power definitely went to her head. Her
Oh yeah,
power, as powerful as you can be.
right. The power of the
Delegating who uses.
flesh. Right.
Oh, is there anything else we need to talk about?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I think. Are you ready for this?
What?
Since this won 9 awards,
Wow.
3 of which were Tony Awards, I'd say that this show was flush with success.
Oh.
And it made a big splash. This runs through November 30th
Right.
at the Carnegie Stage in Carnegie, Stage 62.
Enjoy. Check it out.